learning them. And great. Thanks everyone. Thanks for agreeing to meet in person. I think meeting quarterly in person is a good idea and this help us to work together. So roll call, we have Mark, Sue, Matthew, Bartlett, and Marianne here. Angus is not, and we'll see if Liz is able to join us. AM raised hand. Okay. So all right. See if we can look at this here. You see that when Anna or Maren run the meeting, I think they generally promote someone to panelist. That's correct. I don't see how to do that here.
Is there anyone in attendance? Let's
look at the other tab on that window there. It says,
Oh yeah, there we go.
yeah, you can promote those too if you want.
Okay. So Angus and Liz, can you hear us now?
I can now. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Liz, you out there? There's a hazy lens, or it looks like someone is in some kind of witness protection out there. So I don't know if it's our end.
Me?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you now.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Let's see. Hello.
Liz.
The
Town meeting for
Affordable Housing Trust? Yeah, welcome.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
Hello.
Hey, Catherine.
Hi.
Have a seat.
There's Liz. Hi, Liz.
Liz, thanks for joining.
Hi, everyone.
So we're just getting started on our agenda here. Thank you for joining us. I don't know that we've had guests before at these meetings, so welcome. And normally we meet all on Zoom, so this is a little adjustment for us. But we'll start with roll call. We'll do that again quickly since we just promoted everyone else. So Mark, Sue, Matthew, Bartlett, Angus on Zoom, and Marianne are here from the trust. Liz is here representing EHS to go through our LRAP and grant program applicants, and we have a guest. Thank you for joining. We have a topic that's kind of a carryover from last meeting, board elections for a clerk. I mentioned that Lucy asked me if that was an oversight that we didn't vote for clerk, or if we decided to not have a clerk. And I said, we definitely did not decide not to have a clerk. I asked her what the purpose of the clerk was, and she said it varies. So I think, Angus, you are the current clerk. So maybe if you wouldn't mind just telling us a little about what the clerk does, and then we can decide if we need one and nominate someone for that position.
My understanding of it was that the clerk was supposed to keep the minutes and keep things in order, but we haven't actually done that. The minutes are being transcribed electronically, and Lucia does that of of the meeting, and so the role would have been active if we were a paper and pen committee, I'd imagine, but that's the best I know. Perhaps some of the other members can chip in.
So on the select board, the clerk reads the motions, and I think we don't have any work for a clerk, but I think we have to elect one. I believe that you need a chair and a clerk, I think.
Okay. One thing I'd like to propose is that the clerk, since we don't have minutes, maybe the clerk can prepare the update that we have annually for the town. think Mark and I did it last year, but I think that'd be great if we could transfer that to the clerk. So that would be a proposal. So we'll go with Matthew's understanding that it's mandatory that we have a clerk. And do we have any nominations?
Would you like to continue, Angus?
Sure, I have no objection to it.
Does anyone else want to do it?
Oh, thank you.
I nominate Angus. I move that we vote to,
Aha.
I move that we vote to install Angus as clerk, appoint Angus as the clerk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Matthew,
Aye.
Bartlett, Susan, Mark, and Angus. Okay,
Yes, I.
so approved. Thank you, Angus. We appreciate it. So Angus is clerk. All right. Item 3 are action plans. We'll start with 4.1 small grants program. And Liz, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. Is my audio okay?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. I'll try to live up to Amy's reputation here. So the first one I have here is for the small grant program. This is SGP 15. And the household size is 1. They are below the 80% AMI for their income. They are looking to have a chimney restoration done. They're a senior female, and there are structural concerns, health and safety concerns with this request. It has been reviewed by the building commissioner, and he has made a request to go specifically with estimate number 2, which is $3,725. Are there any specific questions I can answer in regards to SGP 15?
Do you know if they use this chimney for venting a stove, like a wood stove or a gas stove, or if it's just for a fireplace?
I believe it's just for a fireplace. It says that there are bricks missing, many others are loose. There's cracked grout. The cap needs to be replaced and secured to keep the animals out.
Got it.
It also needs a
Any chimney-
stainless steel liner.
Right. Any chimney that's in use needs to be structurally sound,
Yeah, of course.
and a liner is good, and so.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting that the approval was for the higher amount, but when I read through, I found that it was certainly because the lower quote was substandard. So this is a case where we are consciously going with a higher quote, and I think it's it's well deserved.
Right. I think our building commissioner did an excellent job reviewing the estimates and found that one of the quotes did not have the stainless steel liner within the quote. So he was good to pick that out.
Well within the $7,500 limit. So do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
SG
Angus.
15.
So we'll go around. All in favor, Matthew?
Yes.
Bartlett?
Yes,
Mark?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Angus?
Yes.
And Marianne's a yes. Okay,
Good.
so approve SGP 15. And what's next?
An LRAP.
Okay,
Okay, good to move on to the LRAP.
yes, let's do that.
So this is LRAP number 42. Annual, let me start again. Household size of 2, annual income $45,964. Their current rent is $2,300 a month. They receive preference points for being within the 30 to 60% AMI bracket. Also in preference points for the rental burden for residing or working in Littleton, and also because both occupants are seniors. So it's a total of 10 preference points. It's an elderly couple who are working with family to complete applications for subsidized housing as well as affordable housing within Littleton and the surrounding towns. One of these residents was working up until a year ago to supplement their income, but has been unable to continue due to declining health reasons, which is why they've begun searching for alternate housing arrangements. And that is LRAP 42.
Liz, this is a new application, right? We have not seen this one before.
Yes.
Sounds like a good fit.
Yeah, seems pretty straightforward.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve LRAP 42.
Second. Susan seconds. Matthew?
Yeah.
Approve?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes,
Susan?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes,
Angus?
Yes,
Mary Ann's a yes. So LRAP 42 is approved.
Great.
Any more LRAP applications?
Nope. That's it for me.
This is the fastest we've flown through these in a bit, so this is great. And the next item on the agenda was the policy language for eligibility for the extensions, but we decided that since Amy's not on the call this evening, that we'll save that till our next meeting.
Very good.
Okay,
excellent.
great. Thank you. Thanks for joining, Liz. You're welcome to stay, but feel free to drop off if you need to. Okay, item 3C on the agenda is 119 Tahata Road status, Habitat for Humanity updates.
so we did the site walk with Habitat. I believe they now have full control of the property. We did the site walk last Tuesday. They are going in front of the Conservation Commission in an hour, I believe, today, to get their sign off, and then they head to ZBA to get their sign off. What they said at the, there's still some tweaks potentially on the site layout to satisfy the neighbors and things going on. They're hoping to have the foundation in sometime over the fall so that they can go vertical in the spring with the tech school kids.
Okay.
I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. Yeah. We had one neighbor, a butter, Mariel Nines was there, and I think she had some pretty reasonable questions, so there's been back and forth with her and Carolyn from Habitat after. But that seems to be going well. It's good to have that open dialogue.
There was some discussion about the length of the driveway and why the house was set so far back. That's kind of an open question too.
Yeah, they were having that back and forth and looking at to shorten the driveway or move it over.
There may be a reason for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Carolyn agreed to look at it again, right, with the engineers and see if there's an opportunity to really move the new structure a little bit further away from neighbors.
Carla, do you know, do they need to do anything to do a cut through the stone wall?
Fence. They might very well. That's those
also
fine
PZA.
scenic roads and stuff, so it might be historic, or I don't know who's in charge of scenic roads, highways.
Mhm.
So that might be that's a question to ask.
Ask who? I'm asking the planning board.
I will have a meeting in September and talk about it.
I thought Marilyn said that was the border.
Well, there's the stone wall we walked over to get into the property,
Okay,
So
which
that's
is not in great condition.
yeah,
And actually, it's almost kind of falling apart there already, but.
Right.
But I don't know if there's any stone wall bylaws or anything in place that they'd have to worry about.
As part of the grant, maybe, for the Brown property, would that be, I mean, I know there's one for the orchard, for example, but I have no idea if that was part of the language for the Brown property.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are in town generally, if you're punching through a stone wall, what you're allowed and not allowed to do.
I know that further up to Hattawan, near the Glavy house at the corner there's a house going in that requires a removal of part of that stone wall, and that's a scenic highway, designated scenic byway or whatever. So that had to go through the process.
With the planning board or?
Yeah, it was in front of the planning board, and yeah, it'd have to go through the planning board.
Or does the ZBA override that anyway, if they're in front of the ZBA?
No, it would be a planning board issue, I think. I don't think the ZBA would be involved in it.
Okay, we should just check it.
Yeah,
So that,
Should we add that for follow-up at our next meeting?
sure. Or we'll follow up with that on the next meeting. But yeah,
Okay. All right, move on to our next agenda item then. Strategy 2.1, the Durkee Farmhouse Project.
all right, in the minutes, I had noted, it's noted in there that there was some of the access was open, and I called the highway department and they have fixed that. When I had driven past it at one point and the front door was open, and I called them, and that's now securely fastened. The rest of it, what I have to say about Durkee is that I totally screwed up. In June, there was a question that was going around about who was going to sign the agreement, the grant agreement, and it turned out that Jim Duggan is the one that signs it. So he informed me that he was going to sign it, and there'd been a lot of emails going back and forth between a lot of people, and it turns out that I was supposed to forward that email to MHP, and I didn't, because I sort of thought that everybody was included, and they weren't, so.
We can share that one. That could have been something with the transition from Anna to me as well.
It-
So I
it-
think
yeah,
that's
that-
probably a piece of,
There's
that,
a
so.
lot, there was a lot going on
Yeah.
at the beginning of June,
Yeah.
and so that didn't happen until, at the beginning of August, I called MHP to find out where the RFP was, and they said, well, we haven't started the process because we don't know who's gonna sign it, we need that, so in 10 minutes, they got their name,
Yeah.
and things were underway. So we lost 2 months of engineer work. But it'll happen, and it's underway now, and
this, what Jim signed was for the forgivable loan so
Yeah.
that Laura could proceed
Right.
with the technical assessment and then eventually the RFP.
correct.
Okay. Good. So maybe in September.
Yeah, we
We'll
should, I
invite her to
hope
join our
we'll
meeting.
have something. I don't know
Yeah.
how long it takes them to do their
Yeah.
process, but
Yeah, I'm sure as soon as she sends it to you, you can forward it and we'll review it on our next meeting. Right?
I get it. You'll be the first to know about it.
Sounds good.
I do
Any,
know that Jim signed the contract, so.
that's good. Anything else on Durkee?
No,
Okay.
nothing to report on that.
This might be a quick meeting. Okay, we're flying through these. So the next item, E, actually I looked it up and that would fall under strategy 3.2. And I added that based on an email exchange that, Bartlett and I had with Anna, she forwarded to us, and it's related to the timing of having the affordable housing units. It's been on the planning board agenda, right? And I think that there's some differences of opinion
Right.
as to when the affordable units will be included in 550 King Street. And I talked to Anna at length about it, and I was actually hoping that Lauren would be here tonight to maybe shed some light or give her perspective on it. I think Anna shared with me her thoughts and her really position based on calculation of when the affordable units should be included. And right now that's not shared by the planning board. And the differences are related to one, just the interpretation of the calculation,
Mhm.
right? There are a couple different ways you can interpret that. The second factor, I think, is the desire to partner with Lipoli, right? And recognize that he has some upfront costs and that maybe they want to push it out further. And then the third, I think there's also potential that they may want to put affordable housing on a completely separate location. You know, aligned with the Shattuck Street discussions that we've had. So those are three factors that she mentioned, why it's, what could potentially delay those units from being included. But at this point, it's not on our agenda. It's not for us to decide. My understanding is it's a planning board decision, but we can certainly make noise and have an
We
opinion.
could have an opinion.
What's the delta in terms of units or time between what Anna believes and what the rest of the planning board
Yeah,
does?
Lupoli came in proposing to include 9 affordable units in the first 2 buildings, which is about 300 units. And Anna's interpretation is that once you cross the 30% of the total, which is smaller than the sum of those first two buildings, then we have to have 10%, and it's 10% of the 800, which is 80 units. So, you know, that the 2 buildings being, I don't know, the math is a little complicated, but the 2 buildings being a third of the project, then we have the third of 80, which is what, 25, 26, something like that. So that's the delta.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm not quite sure, Lupoli explained how they got to 9, but I couldn't really follow it. I didn't understand what they were saying, or I wasn't paying attention or
It's
something.
also confusing, I think, because the way the bylaws are written versus the special permit is, you know, everything else, it's like a who's on top on these things.
Right.
yeah, she did mention that there's a conflict between the two, but also exactly like you're saying, whether it's 10% of the total number of units or
Yeah.
10% of that increment once they hit 30. And that's a big difference. Like you said, that's either 9 or 30.
The way the bylaw is written, I think until they hit the 30% threshold, there's a very low number of affordable units they have.
None.
0.
Okay, so a very, very low number.
But that, you know, that after you get to 30%, you have to have the entire, the 10% that is required.
From then on, basically. From then on, you have to
And then
have 10% of
it gets
everything.
progressive, so with 90%, you have 90% and 100%.
Yeah.
100% of that.
Yeah.
So it's,
So what I can do maybe is prepare a summary of the numbers, the differences, and maybe if Marin's on the call next month, at our meeting next month, we can ask for her interpretation of it as well. And then maybe go to the planning board with our point of view on this. And I think in general, we want to push for more units sooner, right? That's an obvious statement.
that's certainly Hannah's.
Like, I mean, I'm sensitive to Sal's requirement. I mean, he does have a lot of upfront costs. And I am sure that there are financing, like, hurdles that he has to clear.
Right.
And obviously, affordable units reduces his income.
Right.
But I thought that's what the 30% was for, right?
Right.
That 30% is what we gave him to let him get it up and running and established before he has to start putting units in. So I feel like we've done our share of that
So,
as a town.
well, I kind of let Daryl Baker on the planning board and said, basically, I kind of agree with the approach that says, when you build the first building, this is the number of units you'll
Yeah.
have. When you build the second, this is the number, and the third, and so on, and to come up with a chart like that everyone can nod up and down. The hard part there is, once you hit, you know, like the last build, you know, what happens if they don't build the last building? You want to make everything so back-ended.
Yeah.
That you'll never catch up, so, but there should be a way of kind of accomplishing at least part of that along the way. You know, we don't want stuff like with Dean Lane where they just decide not to build the last one because it's affordable, right?
Hmm.
So you
Yeah,
can't,
it's a very real risk.
Yeah.
And we know that there have been some other loophole developments that have had problems with completion, and that's been a problem. I mean, Lowell just took over one of his developments for that very reason. So I think it's not a concern that we can just ignore.
right?
Okay. So we'll add that to the agenda again next month.
Does this board have a sense of, can we say that in general, we want to have more units sooner? Is that the sense of the board?
Yeah,
I mean, I would say as a rule of thumb, like there should always be 10% of the units should be affordable. If he's renting 100, 10 of them should be affordable. If he's renting 400, 40 of them should be affordable. I mean, in that ballpark anyway.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And if he's doing 300 units and only 9 are affordable, I feel like that's short of his requirement.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to listen to his financial concerns too, but I think, you know, he knew what, I mean, the rules were there before he started, so.
Yeah.
I'm okay with cutting them a little slack on the first ones, but you know, you're gonna catch up pretty quickly. Even if we said that 300 was the threshold before he had to catch up, at 450, he's gonna be pretty close to caught up,
Yeah.
right? You're not waiting for him to hit 800 and say, oh, we're gonna catch up on the loss, but
Nope.
right. Because I'm guessing that at 300, he's probably not making his money back, right? He probably has to go in further than there, but we shouldn't wait till the very end and hoping.
Yeah.
And the onsite versus offsite, I don't think, from our perspective, I really don't care if they're onsite or offsite, but until he has a bird in hand offsite, they're not in the calculation. Until he has something, a property that's under his control, that he's talking about building affordable units at, on-sites, all that matters.
I totally agree.
I would go so far as to say until he has a special permit with a listed number of affordable units.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm gonna count.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you.
Sue, you gonna say something?
Well, maybe I'm confused, so people can straighten me out. My understanding was that what they were interested in doing offsite was the 40 units of deeply affordable. The deeply affordable units, a whole separate thing than 550.
So I think they're interested in moving as many of the affordable, including those deeply affordable offsite as possible.
Even the ones at 550.
Yes.
But those 40 would count towards the total of,
Total of
yeah,
those 40 count grand total.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
Of the 10%.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be almost half. If he builds 800 units, that would be half of his requirement.
The one thing I would say is if he's building the units offsite, you have to decide if it affects the numerator and the denominator
Yeah,
or
right.
both.
Right. Is it out of 800 or out of 840?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and also I think we'll need to look closely at the timing. Right, because I think that was a
Yes.
concern with the 40, was that it was gonna be years after, that they would have been at 550.
So this is Angus. I just want to draw the trust's attention to a previous experience we've had. I believe we should be on him, on the developer as much as we can, as soon as we can, and as quickly as we can, because we've had a situation where a developer refused to build the assigned units, or one of them. And there's nothing that we have done or could have done so far. And so that case is still out there. I'm sure those of us who were here when the Cowper Fields was being built will remember that there are units there that weren't completed at the end of it. So we probably should, as much as possible, try to get them to be building as they go along rather than wait and hope that they would deliver at the end of it.
Completely agree. Yeah. Thanks, Angus. Okay, anything else on 550 King Street? All right, the next topic is about the Magic Affordable Housing Trust Roundtable that I attended on July 16th. And no action requested. I just wanted to make everyone aware of some legislation. This is what they reviewed in the meeting. It's called a transfer fee, that they're looking for some statewide legislation to allow municipalities to implement. So it's what they're doing is giving us a way to raise funds for affordable housing. And the way they're doing that is by placing or charging a fee of up to 2% one-time 2% fee on real estate transactions for high-end real estate, mostly over $1 million. So, each transaction will be charged a fee of 2%, up to 2%, that would go directly towards affordable housing. There's a lot of nuance with this. There's a lot of opposition, as you can imagine, from the real estate lobby and others. And it doesn't mandate anything. It just puts this, a mechanism in place for us to be able to do this as municipalities if we decide to. It could be up to 2%, it could be 0.5%. It could be any property over $1 million, it could be 1.5 million. I think there's some opportunity to go lower if your average home price is lower, but that's the general idea. I don't think that I know we don't need to make any discussions about it. I just wanted you guys to be aware in case it came up.
This was a state initiative?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Yes.
enabling act that allows the towns to put bylaws in place that would make it happen.
Yeah.
Like the Community Preservation Act is that same way.
Jamie Eldridge is already listed as one of the supporters, and there's nothing that we need to do to lobby him.
And needs town meeting approval.
Sure.
Yes, we'd be changing the town bylaws.
Says it's a bylaw.
So are there restrictions on where the money can be put? Does it have to go
Have to
to
go to a housing trust.
to a housing trust? Okay. So we could run it through the CPC if we wanted to? Or not?
I don't know.
So, no, that's a good question.
Yeah, okay.
I'll write to,
Probably not, but
I'll
Double
write to,
dipping.
I'll write to Senator Eldridge and tell him he has to make it that way.
Okay, that covers our action plan items. We can move on to board business, discuss exploring the next affordable housing trust development. Revolving RFP to land purchase, that's for market rate.
so we talked to town council and Kim Bobo about writing an RFP. They were both willing to help us, but I don't think we followed up.
She sent us a couple samples, so that's in Yeah.
That's what I-
That's in my inbox,
Okay.
maybe yours too, but that's the ball's in our court to go back and give her some feedback, because we thought that would be a good idea to have that and she'll work on that with us.
And so we would just like every quarter, we would renew it or something like that?
Yeah, we just post a new RFP saying, if you have any property to sell, you know.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And as I think you mentioned last time, it's just so that if one does come up, we don't have to go through the whole process at the time and potentially lose out because of cycle.
So how would a property owner know to look for an RFP?
No idea.
They wouldn't. I think that we would hear about a property and we would talk to the property owner and say to them, well, and you have to go through this process. Fortunately, we already have an RFP open, so if
Okay.
you want to apply for it, we can try to get you through the process. But it just keeps us from having to draft one specifically for that property after we know about it.
Okay.
So it could speed things up.
We can also let the realtors know. And
Yeah.
so that
It's a good point too.
Okay.
And then the second item was for one of those properties that we were interested in actively pursuing, which is 13 Shattuck Street, which is the empty lot that's next to Pine Tree Park. And we met with the town council, Tom Harrington and Jenny, and they told us we didn't know the owners. We found out who the owners were, and we asked the best way to approach. And they said, if you can get an introduction, if you know it's a small town, if you know someone who knows them, get the introduction, or send them a friendly letter. So we sent them a friendly letter and haven't heard back yet. And we've heard those since then. That I think Myron told us that she had heard that they went to Henry about potentially building a single family home there,
the property's been sold to someone, or potentially being sold.
being sold.
Oh, okay.
And the other property we looked at was 82 Russell Street, which is where the Park and Rec was talking about putting the tennis courts,
Mhm.
just immediately across 495.
Down that hill, steep hill.
Right, what I've managed to find out so far is that the deed is, it was given to Park and Rec as part of the development as, the Delaney Drive, decision. It's been deeded to Park and Rec. So to undeed it to Park and Rec, we'd have to figure out a way. It's effectively as if it was conservation land. The chapter 97 land, you'd have to do something to
Offset the
Offset
acreage.
it.
Mm.
Or it's also possible that we could go through the process and say that the property was deeded for the purpose of active recreation, so they want to build ball fields back there, which they can't actually do because it's too expensive to get access to it. So it's possible that we could say that we will provide the access. You know, that we're doing it, you know, if they deed us, that's a 6-acre parcel or something, if they deed us 2 acres, we can, you know, provide the access to allow them to
Build a field.
Improve the site.
so it could be some kind of a mutual agreement, but it's gonna get stuck in legal for a while to figure something.
It- I would assume also it would be expensive to build there just because of that entrance. Like more extent, there must be other lots around that are less difficult.
Potentially, but it's also has the advantage of being really close to sewer, so you can build more dense.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's not on the sewer line, it would still cost money to run the sewer there. But that might be that could be happening in one of either directions, so it's there. Yes, the
Yeah,
sewer's gonna cross 495 over there at some point, it's just a matter which direction it's coming.
that's part of what made 13 Shattuck so attractive also. It's because that's already on town sewer, it abuts Pine Tree Park,
Mhm.
and it's right near the senior center, the library, all those good things, so. We're not giving up on that yet. Maybe there's a chance, but
There's always eminent domain.
Now, we don't even have to do them in a year anyway.
yeah,
There's a couple other parcels we've discussed looking at, but we haven't really done any further labor.
yeah, we've ruled out a couple. We had a longer list and some of them weren't viable, but we'll keep looking.
So there was some chatter on Facebook about the Morgan property because Farm 3559 said that they had to move because that property was being developed or put condos in. I just what they said. I don't know if that's the case, but that would be close to the sewer as well.
Yes, so that's something we should probably look into as well.
And
We have not done that yet, but it's on
okay.
in my thought process.
And I know that like Two Brothers and the Morgan property are not currently protected. Something to think about. So if we do, if it needs to happen, we could potentially say, you know, protect the back, you know, 90% and give us the first 10% to build something on.
Sounds interesting. Okay, thank you for that. Next up are trustee and town planner updates. So Mara's not here, so we'll do trustee updates. I guess let's start with you. Any updates?
Well, yes, myself and just a minute. Let me just get my thoughts correct here. We were tasked with looking at options for folks who are re-requesting LRAP, the repeat LRAP process. So that's a work in progress. We have actually finalized the work. I have a report ready, but we're waiting for Amy to be present before we submit the report to the committee. What we've done is just, review the whole process and see where it's at, and then the trust will make a decision at the time. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Matthew?
No, just visiting the Chattawan site with everyone else who's here.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Thanks, Susan. I'm good. Mark,
I'm good.
you good? I'm good also.
Just from there's the next magic meeting is September 18th, I think it's listed in that packet it was sent, so.
Okay,
Yeah, September 18th at 9 o'clock in Lexington, so. I will probably go.
Yeah, I'll plan to go as well. Okay. Next item, gift acceptance. So we need to vote to accept a $50 gift from Christine Nordhaus.
No relation.
So, is, despite there being no relation, any context that you care to share for us or,
When we toured the Durkee farmhouse, there were a couple of dressers in the front room and my wife refinishes them and sells them. And I think this one, she, I believe, donated to the Restore, the Habitat Restore. And this is, this was the proceeds. I mean, we didn't get any money for it, but she's donating it. So she refinished it, painted it a beautiful green, and some lucky person has it.
That's amazing. Well, I heard that she does beautiful work, so they're, like you said, a lucky
She does.
person to have that, and, how nice that it was reused also.
Yeah,
Right, that
I
it's,
think so.
still living.
Yeah.
So, great, so do we have a motion to accept the $50 gift from Christine?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Bartlett.
I second.
Angus seconds. All right. Matthew?
Yes.
Bartlett?
Yes,
Susan?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Angus?
Yes.
Mary Ann's a yes. Okay. Thank you to Christine. Next item, possible candidates to fill our 7th seat. Anyone else come to mind? Maren proposed a woman last time that said that she wouldn't be making a decision until September. So I think we were holding off until then because she was a highly qualified individual. Any other names come to mind? Would you propose?
I didn't speak to anybody.
I haven't either. Based on the credentials of the woman that Maren mentioned, I thought I would wait until find out if she was interested before having conversations. Okay. Next item, minutes to approve from July 22nd. I think Lucia sent those out, right? With the,
Yeah.
Does anyone have any comments or amendments to propose?
I have a very minor one. At the bottom of page 1, the only exception was in the case of a terminal recipient. I think we should change that to terminally ill recipient.
Semantics.
Good catch, thank you.
And I don't know, maybe on the second page, the property across 495 from Russell Street, I wonder if that could be identified a little bit more.
It's 82.
Yeah, I could put in the address 82
Okay.
Russell Street.
That was it.
And then it says 14 Shattuck, but it's 13 Shattuck, isn't it? Yeah, so
it
that
is
should be
13.
corrected as well.
Odd numbers on that side.
And do we have motion to accept the meetings with those amendments?
I'll move that we accept the meeting minutes from July 22nd, 2025,
As amended.
as amended.
Second.
Susan seconds. Okay. Angus, do you agree?
I agree.
Matthew?
Yes.
Bartlett?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Mary Ann's a yes. Okay.
We are. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Public input? Want to say anything?
Well, first I want to thank you. It was very fascinating and wonderful to be a part of. Not really what I expected, but I haven't been to a lot of town meetings. My name is Catherine and I live at Hager Homestead. And I think the first thing I want to say is thank you, which is what I said to Maren at the beginning of the summer, because I moved in there to one of the affordable units. And I know the town was behind the percentage of units that they had there. And I went through chronic illness, lived in the Back Bay, lost a decade of working power and, never expected to be in the financial situation that I was, that happily gave me housing in the hometown of my grandfather, my paternal grandfather. So And somewhat sadly, but also, optimistically, I'm still moving on because I'm heading towards Vermont. So my affordable unit will open up. And I brought that to Mara, and so I heard the word affordable. I don't know how I knew you guys were meeting. And I just wanted to learn a little bit because I'm a potential that you may not realize that there are people in my kind of what I would say, you know, middle class that have been hit by something, whether it's a chronic illness or something that has changed their life and their ability to live the way that they used to live. And we can still have really beautiful quality living. With people like you partnering with people like Hager Homestead, and you know, we've got, I think, 7 to 10 units over there, and so well blended. There's no difference. Like, it makes me kind of sad when I hear about things being off-sited, you know, from the big project, because there's no difference for us. These are 26 families that are, you know, all mutually thriving. And if I didn't have the pull to continue out of the suburbs, you know, I'm all about community and mutual thriving. So I just want to thank the town. My grandfather was Wilbur Stearns, and they ran the general store up across from the historic center for decades. And, you know, they're long gone, but they were an important family in this town. And I'm sorry that I won't be staying longer. But I just want to thank you for what you're doing and continue to do it, because the world has changed and our financial situation has changed. And I don't want to say non-poor people, right? But just average people like me and you need good housing. It sounds weird to even say, right? You don't have to have nothing to need a good house, but of course you have to start there and make sure that people are taken care of. But it's just important. So thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for making time to come to the meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Share your
I learned
experience.
a lot. I did.
I'm very glad to hear that the Hager Homestead is blending successfully with
Oh.
the affordable units.
There's, you know, in my opinion, from one of the affordable units, it's not, there's no line.
And in general, just that it's working so well, right? Because it is so kind of experimental. right?
Absolutely, and as a senior community, you know, for 55 plus, it's a model for young living, because we have to do it all. You know, we have to govern it all, but we're under sociocracy as our governance system, but you know, it circles for everything you can imagine, and you know, we're all doing the work, and it keeps you vibrant and, you know, purposeful, and yeah. So it's a good model for the town, and I hope that we'll be able to have you get to know us better. We're actually going to do something up at the library in September and invite people to walk the meadow and come down and see what we've done. But
Yeah.
you know,
I wonder if we might want to invite someone as a guest, one of our meetings,
Yeah.
share a little bit more.
yeah, anything that you think, because really what's going on, and it's sustainability for the meadow. There's so many master gardeners and conservationist people that are there, that live there. And we're not, you know, we're not allowed to put this in the compost, and no chemicals, and the butterflies have to come back, and you know, oh, conservation for sure, right? We're just so want that land. It's been kind of harmed by that big footprint coming down. But it's good because we only used 3 acres of it. We preserved well over that 50% formula to keep green. And now we're trying to just get that land, the lights down. We know the lights are horrible. They're too bright and they're white. We're spending tens of thousands of dollars of our own to turn that into yellow light for the insects, and it's the good stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And we've just had our head down, kind of coming up for air from the landing, that we haven't had a chance.
I think this town would love to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I would be happy. I'm not going anywhere fast because Littleton will help me put my home on the market for me to make my turn. I'm being pulled towards Vermont. So I've said to my community, I'm 100% present and love this project and love this town and always will love this town. So I think I'll still kind of be involved with Hager even no matter where I go. So if you need a spokesperson for now and on into the future, please come on. I'm happy to share.
Great. Yeah, that'd be terrific. If maybe you could leave some contact information.
Sure.
Super. Excellent. Thank you. We have one final order of business to lock down our next meeting. We stick with third Tuesday.
The 16th of September, I believe.
That works for me.
I'm right there for that.
Is that your birthday? Okay, so.
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah, I did that on my calendar.
Put
Yeah.
that in the agenda for.
Maybe we should have another in-person meeting and have cake. I think you should do that.
I think it should.
Yeah, all right.
I probably won't be in town that day, the 16th.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. My plans change all the time.
Really?
As, I'm not available on the 17th or 18th. What about the 15th? Do you guys have select board?
We do not.
I could do the 15th.
I could do the 15th as
Would
well.
the 15th work for you, Bob?
Well, my calendar is telling me that I'm gone for the whole week. So
Mm.
Oh, okay. Angus, how about you? 15th, 16th?
I'm available all days.
Okay. So, do you want to make it the 15th? You said you're available both days?
15th, okay with me?
Sure.
Monday to 15th? Okay.
But we won't get cake.
Good have early cake. Birthday.
Just have a birthday, you have a birth month.
Right. And that way, Barbara, if you leave a little late in the week, you can still, join us.
yes, I'll speak to my wife.
Thank you.
We'll see how far that gets.
Okay, I think we can, do we have to make a motion for adjournment?
We do.
Okay,
So moved.
still learning. So moved, Matt, second by Susan. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thanks again for coming.
Thank you for.
Thank you.